Today on The Pulse, what small business owners need to know now that Maryland's new paid sick leave law is in effect. Plus, 90% of startups fail. Here's what you need to know about the 10% that don't. But first order of business, who's on first, who's on second, and who's coming back to Prince George's County? Coming up next on The Pulse. Calling all entrepreneurs. It's Economic Development Week in Prince George's County. The only show in town dedicated to helping Prince George's County businesses. Hello, I'm Denise Roberts, and welcome to The Pulse, the show that's all about Prince George's County businesses. And if you're not in Prince George's County, you need to come on over to our side. But until then, you still need to watch because we can help you too. If you haven't heard, the word on the street is Giant Food is moving its headquarters back to Landover, bringing with it more than 200 jobs, including 78 new hires. Giant relocated its corporate headquarters to Pennsylvania after its 1998 merger with sister company Giant Martin's. Owned by Ahold Delhaize USA, Giant is the D.C. area's 13th largest employer, according to the Washington Business Journal's Book of Lists, with nearly 11,000 employees and more than 100 stores around D.C. Maryland's new paid sick time law is now in effect, requiring employers for as many as 700,000 workers previously without sick leave to start tracking earned leave. The new law mandates that businesses with more than 15 or more employees must provide up to 5 days of paid sick leave per year following their first 106 days of employment. Employers with 14 or fewer employees are also required at the minimum to provide employees with unpaid sick and safe leave. The law does not apply to employees who regularly perform fewer than 12 hours of work for an employer, are under the age of 18, are employed by a temp agency providing staffing services, are employed by an employment agency to provide part-time or temporary services to another individual, perform work on an as-needed basis in a health or human services industry, or are employed in the agricultural sector on an agricultural operation. Maryland is the 9th state to require paid sick and safe leave. Stay right there because we're coming back in 30 seconds.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made her college years happen. Opening that education savings account when she was little. Spearheading a campus tour. And another, and another, and another, and another. Bam! Deciphering financial aid. She was like, what? But now she's like, you aced planning for college. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Welcome back to The Pulse. Did you know that 9 out of 10 startups will fail? This is a hard and bleak truth, but one that you do well to meditate on. Cold statistics like these are not intended to discourage entrepreneurs, but to encourage them to work smarter and harder. Because you can do it. You can be successful. You just need the right tools in place. Here to talk about how to stop small business failure is my first guest, Darrell Spears, President and CEO of EliteConversations.com. Darrell, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you for having me.
Oh, absolutely. So 90%, that's a high percentage rate of small businesses that fail.
Yeah, and a lot of that is going up because more people are starting their own businesses. You know, with more people retiring, you know, we have more baby boomers that are starting to leave corporate America, and they have 401ks and money set aside, but they don't want to just sit around and do anything, do nothing, but they're retiring. You have people coming out of the military and starting their own business. So a lot of people, more people are starting businesses, but people are not prepared when they get into business because there's a lot to it.
Okay,
Yes.
so let's talk about that. They're not prepared in what way?
Well, for us, EliteConversations.com, one of the things we do is we support small business owners. Our primary target for those that make less than $100,000 and that have been in business less than 2 years.
That's an excellent segment of the business population to focus on.
Yes, it's a huge segment. And based on our research, we feel like there are 3 areas that are critical for small business owners. 1 is to obtain knowledge, 2 is to acquire resources, and 3 is to build those connections that can help take you to the next level.
Now that sounds pretty basic, but obviously you feel it's very, very important.
We think it's the 3 most important pieces. You know, you have to have money, but having money and not having those 3 components is critical, especially if you're a business owner and a solopreneur. You know, we leave corporate America, a lot of us are executives, and we leave with a great talent, and we have knowledge that we can use to start a business, but guess what? We can't bring the marketing department with us. We can't bring the sales department with us, so we're wearing all the hats.
Okay.
You know,
and you said that is a big segment of businesses. How many businesses fall into that category of $100,000 or less?
It's huge. Throughout the U.S., it's about 5 million, and it's about a little over 2 million right here in the DMV.
2 million businesses under 100K, less than 2 years.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
So what are their needs?
Well, the basic needs are, again, we always focus on those 3 areas. The basic need is getting knowledge. You know, you have to have knowledge, and that helps you in terms of maintaining your budget. You know, when new business owners come in, again, they come in with a nice budget a lot of times, or they have money set aside that they want to use to grow their business. But now you have to figure out, how do you best use your dollar? You know, how do you get the most value out of your dollar? And we tend to lose a lot of that money, and a lot of that money get flushed because we don't have knowledge.
So how do you get the best value out of your dollar?
Well, we think 2 of those ways is 1, building relationships and connecting with the right people to get the information. Again, and an example, I was speaking with a young lady recently that's starting a nonprofit, and she had already committed to getting someone to do a website. And just by talking through and asking her the things that she needed, she could have saved at least $2,500 from what she's spending to get a website done. So she has some money there set aside, but $2,500 can come back later down the road when you need to do some other things. So understanding what you need to do in business and how to really allocate your money and get the best bang for your dollar is important, because it's not how much you spend, it's how much you can keep in those first couple of years, because you got to get to a point where you start getting revenue. So you want to minimize your costs and get to a point as quick as possible to get that revenue, so you'll have more money down the road. You see what I'm saying? And that's why it's key to understand where you are in business.
So what else don't they know?
It's a lot that they don't know. Well, I can say don't know. A lot of times it's not the mistakes that we make, but understanding how much power we have as a new business owner now, because it's changed, and we have more power than we used to have. And just think about, there are 3 major dates that I think was very important. 1991, that's when internet, it didn't start, but that's when it was approved for commercial use. So now companies could use the internet for promoting their business and selling products. That was huge. 1995, 96, again, Facebook. Now, you know, social media is there. Now you have exposure to people all over the world, and that has grown since then. So that has given us a broader target of people to target our companies. And for us, I think an important time was 2006. That's when some say Google, some say it was someone else, in terms of creating what they call sort of broadband and creating a system where you could tap into your resources wherever. And really it's important now to understand that we can do the same things that big boys can do. You know, because of social media, we can reach people all over the world to sell our products, you know, and now that we have that opportunity, there are resources that are out there that we can use to promote ourselves, to build our brand. Web computing, cloud computing is what I was trying to think of. Now with cloud computing, you can sit on your beach, at the beach, and do work, get access to your files. So we have the ability to do the same thing that the big companies can do now that we weren't able to do before 19 91 or earlier. So we need to use our dollars to expose ourselves and get ourselves out there quickly. But you have to know where those resources are, how to get to them, and how to spend your money wisely to use those resources.
Okay, so where are the resources?
They're everywhere.
Okay.
One of the things I did, and I'm talking a lot from experience, just in building websites now, there's so many website companies out there now that have templates. You know, you don't have to know coding and all that anymore, but you can set up a 3-page website just to get your business going, to get your product out there. So that's now you can really almost teach yourself if you're willing to do that. There are applications out here to help you keep your calendar, you know, where people can call or go online and schedule an appointment. So you can find automated things to give you time back. Sure. Because as a solopreneur, 24 hours out of the day, you know, 18 hours, you have to determine each hour of the day, how do you best use your time? Okay. So now that you're the employee, the manager, and the owner, you have to figure out what's important, because you still have to sell the business. You have to go out and promote.
Okay, so what advice do you have for someone who's just starting out? What steps do they need to take?
One of the things we do, we offer with the econversations.com, we know that those 3 things are important. So what we put in place are several things. We do a business assessment for new owners that are starting out in business. And the most important thing we do is a 3-hour assessment, and we actually go through step by step on things they need to think about. First and foremost, before you think about doing anything, is understanding who your target is. Who do you want to sell to? And I tell individuals not to think about your company in terms of how much you're going to make, but think about your products and services in terms of what are you providing to your target market that they need.
Okay, so an assessment, and then what?
The assessment, after the assessment, during the assessment, we're talking about a lot of things. We're talking about your target, who is your target, and how do you market to that target. We talk about business alliances. As a solopreneur, it's important that you think about how to grow your business. You're not going to be able to afford to probably hire anyone right away, but you can take an approach where you start through the connections to build other relationships with people that can offer services that speak to the same target market that you serve. Okay, and I got to stop it right there. But Darrell Spears, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show. I know we have a lot to get to, but we can have you back on again sometime soon. Absolutely. I appreciate you for having me. Okay. Don't go away, because we've got some important things that you need to know. But before we go to break, this week's photograph for Selfie on the Pulse is from Keisha Savage and Kelly Thomas, owners of Savage Chic, a family-owned business specializing in inspirational casual apparel based in Upper Marlboro, Maryland. If you would like to see your business on this show, take a selfie. That's a picture of you and your business taken by you. Send it to us on Twitter at PGC Diversity, and no professional shots, please, but be sure to use the hashtag #SelfieOnThePulse. Well, this is the month where we are starting a campaign to spotlight as many businesses as we can in any way and every way we can. So another way to get your business on this show is by asking a question. As we live and lead our busy entrepreneurial lives, oftentimes we run into challenges and roadblocks and simply get stuck where we don't know what to do. Has this ever happened to you? If you say no, I don't believe you. But if your answer to this question is yes, then we can help. All you have to do is ask the Pulse. If you have a business question that you'd like to answer, send it to us on Twitter at PGC Diversity, and we'll answer it for you and mention your business on this show. It can be text, it can be a video of you. If you like, we can come to you and record a video of you asking your question, and we will air it on the show. Just remember to include your name, the name of your company, and the city your business is located in. And also be sure to use the hashtag #AskThePulse. Last but certainly not least, we want you to join our family. That's right, join our small business club for a chance to showcase your business on this show. All you have to do is send an email with the link to your company website to sddoutreach@co.pg.md.us. We'll be right back.
Have you ever gotten to a place in your business where you're having trouble reaching a specific goal or outcome and it just wasn't going right and you feel like you're stuck? And the next thing you know, you're at a place where you are just beyond stuck. You contemplate giving up? Well, we don't want you to give up. Have you ever thought about hiring a business coach? You see, the reality is not all CEOs come to the table with the full set of skills they need to build their companies to last for the next decade. But here's where the benefit of a business coach comes in. A business coach, also known as a professional mentor, can help you get unstuck and find the motivation you need to keep going until you get it right. Success.com offers 3 no-bull suggestions on finding the right professional mentor for you and your business. Number 1, ask potential coaches how much they made last year and only hire one who earned at least 6 figures from coaching. If you're going to trust your own business to someone, then you want to make sure the coach has a proven track record. Number 2, remember, this is not personal. It's business. So instead of looking for someone who is a good fit for your personality, search for a coach who is a bit edgy and makes you feel slightly uncomfortable right from the start. You aren't buying a friend to hold your hand, but paying someone who will push you outside your comfort zone. And finally, number 3, don't be cheap. The best coaches are expensive, and you typically get what you pay for. Just view coaching expenses as an investment in your business, and then remember to write them off at tax time. Hopefully, these tips were helpful for you. Stay right there because we'll be right back. Welcome back to The Pulse. If you want to be in the know of the small business community in the DMV, then you're in the right place. My next guest, David Harrington, President and CEO of the Prince George's Chamber, is back with us to tell us what's going on. Welcome back, David.
I'm glad to be back. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So you just had the State of the Chamber, right? What'd you tell everybody?
Well, what we said was, look, there's $6 billion worth of progress in 6 years. So there's money to be had. Get ready. We told them to network. We told them to build their capacity. And we also told them to collaborate to be a part of this great economy. And featured was James Brown, the 3-time Emmy sportscaster, who gave some fantastic tips on how to grow your business and how to stay in business.
Oh wow, I missed that.
I know. How come
I didn't get my invite?
We gotta get you back.
Okay. So listen, I want to know what you're concerned about with this new paid sick leave law that Maryland has.
So we really worked with the legislature on this bill. What it does is any company with 15 or more employees are required to provide at least 40 hours worth of leave for a year. Okay. Now anybody who's under that 15 threshold then has to provide unpaid leave to that employee. So we worked with them about seasonal employees, about working with companies who already have leave policies in place. The legislators listened to us, and so we were able to get some amendments in. But it's law right now. So as of January 23rd, it is law, and those companies need to then make sure that they're complying.
Okay, so is this a good thing or a bad thing?
You know, it's not. It's a good thing in a way that provides then support for emergency situations that employees may encounter, and businesses being sensitive to those emergency situations. But we want to make sure, though, it's not too onerous on business because it could provide then a liability, if you will, on the books that has to be maintained that otherwise wasn't there. So
what's out there to help small businesses that this may be a challenge for to help them be in compliance?
That's right. So Maryland law has, they can contact one of the agencies there to just make sure that they're in compliance. But also they can contact the chamber, and we could help to make sure that businesses are compliant as well. But for the most part in Prince George's County, this is not a problem. Most of our companies and most of our members already have sick leave that exceeds the law. Okay. So in Prince George's County, it doesn't seem to be a problem at all.
And earlier we listed out some exemptions, so we know there's some exemptions for employees, but does this affect the construction industry as well, you know, collective bargaining agreements?
So no, it does not.
Okay.
So those companies that already have collective bargaining agreements, then those agreements are going to stay intact. And that was one of the amendments that we put on. So companies like retail companies that also have collective bargaining agreements, those agreements stay intact. Okay.
What else is the chamber paying attention to?
So one of the big issues that's coming up right now, actually there are two issues, I should say, but one of them is the fight for 15. So there's a movement in the General Assembly to increase minimum wage to $15 an hour by 2023.
Okay.
And so that would be applied to, right now, the bill, that would be applied to all companies. So we're looking out for that and working with the legislature to say you may want to hold on to that, because that could be, you know, make a huge difference of whether or not a company can stay afloat.
But it also can make a huge difference in somebody who has a job now.
No, that's correct. Okay. That's correct. So all we're looking for is, all right, look, if you're going to raise the minimum wage, then let's provide some more opportunities for procurement, both on the private and public side, so that then these companies can get more opportunities to keep then solid employees in place.
Okay, which brings us to something else that you're paying attention to, right?
So what we're talking about is Pathway to 40. Okay. And I tell you, Denise, what I hear from all of our members is that they're not doing business in Prince George's County. Okay. So many of our companies are located here, but they're doing business in Washington, D.C. or Montgomery County. And we say that's enough. And they should be doing business in Prince George's County. We have 3 government agencies that are over $2 billion each that have a lot of procurement dollars. Let's get at least 40% of those procurement dollars to local businesses in Prince George's County. And so we're starting a movement called Pathway to 40%, bringing small businesses together, creating some even more policy that makes sure that that happens.
Now, Prince George's County has already taken measures, right, with CB 17, and they have some 40% requirements, but they're really paying attention to local opportunities for local businesses.
So we're going in the right direction. Okay. So those legislation that you cited are going in the right direction. But it's one thing to have policy; it's another thing to administer it
and enforce
it. So what we want to do at the chamber is make sure that it's administered and that it's enforced and that it's moving in the direction that we all want it to be.
Okay. What about Metro?
Well, you know, Metro is a lifeline in this region. And indeed, you know, we're looking at the purple line that will be in Prince George's County very soon that will connect Prince George's County to Montgomery County. But it is suffering. And in fact, there's going to be at least a $500 million shortfall if we don't intervene. So the 3 jurisdictions in Maryland, Virginia, and D.C. are coming together, and we want to put in some dedicated funding for Metro so that it can stay afloat, and it's all going to go to operations. It's going to bring in new equipment, some safety measures, because we want this lifeline to be in place. What we're doing is in the Maryland General Assembly, and it has some good momentum, is that we want to see $167 million of dedicated funding to Metro, so that then Metro can stay afloat and then be a lifeline to connect us to the workplaces and economic opportunities that will make this region thrive.
Okay. So with that, I mean, does that also provide opportunities for small businesses with Metro
absolutely.
As well? Okay.
Look, what's called transit-oriented development.
Yes.
So we have at least 15 metro stations in Prince George's County. Right. Only 2 of them are developed. Okay. So what we want to do is create transit-oriented development for some of our small businesses. And what we've seen is those businesses that are located near metro sites, it creates economic opportunity for everyone. Okay. So this request from us in the chamber is to say to the Maryland General Assembly, look, we need this money, and it's going to be a return in that because we're going to see increased ridership. We're going to see more business move there. We're going to see construction dollars that our businesses can take advantage of. And what does all that mean? It means tax dollars going to Prince George's County as well as the state. So this is a big issue for us. And again, let's connect the dots here. If you're going to raise minimum wage $15, then we've got to create economic opportunities so our businesses then, if this comes law, can adhere to this law. And this is one of the ways where we're going to create economic opportunity. So, but we need dedicated funding for Metro to make all of that happen.
Okay, so they're both kind of working together.
They work all together, and that's what the chamber is talking about. You know, we need to look at Prince George's County and the region as a major ecosystem, and what that means is everything is connected. You know, we talk about transportation, when we talk about healthcare, when we talk about creating other economic opportunities, it's all connected. So what we're in the chamber are doing is not only focusing on Prince George's County, but we're focusing on Washington, D.C., Northern Virginia, Montgomery County, because all of that can bring business opportunities for our members as well.
David Harrington, thank you so much for coming back on the show today. As always, you are a wealth of information, and we look forward to hearing back more from you, okay?
And thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Don't go away, because we'll be right back with tax tips.
I love taking care of my mom. It wasn't easy at first. She learned how to better communicate her needs.
And you learned how to not ignore yours.
I discovered how to make healthier meals.
And I discovered how much I enjoyed them.
Becoming a caregiver is a learning experience for everyone. Find articles, tips, and tools from experts and others who have been in your place. The Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving.
Well, tax season is upon us, and you know as well as I do, Uncle Sam does not play. So let's get to some of those good old deductions you can take for this tax season, courtesy of fitsmallbusiness.com. First, take the home office deduction. Many small business owners operate from offices at home, but not all of them realize they can deduct expenses related to that home office. These can include insurance, mortgage interest payments, repairs and utilities like internet service. Number two, the 179 section deduction allows you to recover the full cost of equipment or property up to $500,000 for 2017, and that'll be $1 million for 2018, that you purchased for your business in the same year that you purchased it. This beats recovering the cost of a period of time like 5 or 10 years through depreciation deductions. Number three, startup costs. Any expenses that are incurred before the first sale are called startup costs. These costs cannot be deducted until the first sale, but can be deducted over 15 years. Plus, you can elect to deduct the first $5,000 in the first year of business. And finally, keep an eye out for carryovers. Some deductions or credits may not be fully used in one tax year and are eligible to be carried over into future years. These can include items like capital losses, net operating losses, home office deductions, and charitable contribution deductions. Track these or have your software do it so you don't forget them from one year to the next. Good luck for this tax season, and hopefully these tips will help you save some money with Uncle Sam. And that's our show for today. I want to thank Darrell Spears and David Harrington for being on the show today. This show and previous episodes are posted on our website. It's diversity.mypgc.us, and click on the pulse. We are on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at PGC Diversity, and our YouTube channel is The Pulse TV. Don't forget to join our Small Business Club to spotlight your business on our show. Send an email with the link to your company website to sddoutreach@co.pg.md.us. Next time on The Pulse, calling all women business owners. It's Women's History Month in March, so we're doing something a little bit different. We're showcasing phenomenal women business owners in Prince George's County. So if you are one of those phenomenal ladies breaking glass ceilings and beating those odds, send me an email, sddoutreach@co.pg.md.us. I'm Denise Roberts, and remember, in Prince George's County, your success is our success.